Welcome back to another edition of the Pagcast. I'm your host, Michael Pagani, joined alongside West Kelowna Warriors forward Cal Hughes. Cal, welcome to the Pagcast. Thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Just to open up this interview, my first question to you is how have you been doing recently?
I've been doing well. It's been nice to be home, just hanging out with the family and kind of getting back into training and skating.
What are you focusing on this offseason?
Definitely just getting stronger. Like my focus is definitely on the off ice kind of thing in the gym and just kind of get stronger, but definitely focusing on getting faster and getting a better shot and things like that.
Have you been following or did you follow at all these NHL playoffs? Like they were insane.
Yeah, they were nuts. I probably watched every single game, at least every one I could watch, and they were unreal.
It had to have been one of the best playoffs. And then obviously the Stanley Cup final was equally as good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the compete from both sides was insane, and then it was kind of just like anybody could have won this year. It was that good.
It just like the amount of series comebacks that we saw. I mean, like in the first round, we had Toronto, Boston. That was a crazy series. And then even in this cup final with Edmonton coming back to tie it up at game 7. Edmonton Dallas was also such a good series, too. I just loved the entire playoff run that we saw.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. I was actually at game 6 in Toronto against the Bruins and with my buddy on the Warriors, and it was like one of the coolest atmospheres I've ever been a part of.
I mean, like, and we see Nylander slide that puck 5 hole, and the crowd just goes insane. It was to be honest, like I'm a Habs fan myself, but man, being in that building, I couldn't imagine just how loud it was.
Oh my God, it was insane. And I'm a Bruins fan, so it was kind of hard to take that, but I was like, I don't know, just to be a part of this atmosphere is one of the coolest things.
Did you have your Bruins jersey with you?
No, I didn't. I was flying back from West Kelowna. So I just my buddy invited me and it was kind of just a pit stop, so I didn't have any Bruins gear with me, but I definitely would have.
Well, and then we saw them win game 7 overtime. I'm sure you were just like you were so nervous about that, being a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely nerve-wracking, but when Pastrnak got that one, it was definitely a relief and super exciting.
Well, getting into your story, who influenced you to get into hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say my dad. My dad kind of definitely got me into the sport. He played hockey growing up his entire life. He went to Cornell University, and then from there he was actually drafted. I think it was 22nd overall by the Nordiques. And then so I mean he's been there, done that, and then just kind of from there on, I just wanted to like follow my dad's footsteps.
What's it like knowing that someone in your family has made it to the NHL level? Does it kind of add that extra motivation?
Yeah, it definitely does. It's kind of just like I said before, you definitely want to follow in your dad's footsteps, and you kind of want to be like, my dad made it, and I could say I wish I could say the same kind of thing.
Was there a player growing up who you wanted to model your game after?
Yeah, there was definitely I'd say Patrice Bergeron. Definitely because I mean, growing up as a Bruins fan, he's definitely one of the names that comes to your mind. But I've met him a couple of times, and like as a person, he's probably like one of the nicest people in the league. Well, like what he does as a charitable person, and then on the ice, I mean, he's one of the most respected players in the league, or was. And then he's a complete 200-foot player, and I try to just model my game after that.
Man, what a different era it's going to be for Boston. I mean, they're losing Patrice Bergeron. Krejci's gone. Olmark, he was there for a few seasons, but he's gone now. And then Jack Edwards, too.
Yeah, I know it's insane what's going on there. And then Marchand's kind of on the end of his run, but hoping for a good rebuild.
Well, with you being born in New Jersey, how come you weren't growing up as a Devils fan? How come you did choose the Bruins?
Yeah, I mean, my uncle used to represent Patrice Bergeron. So as a player from New Jersey, there were never really tournaments in New Jersey. It was always like in Boston or Minnesota and things like that. So we'd be coming to Boston. It felt like every other weekend. Practically felt like we lived there. And then just growing up and having that connection with my uncle and Patrice, I was like, Patrice was the first player I ever met. I've met him multiple times. I've been around him, and I was just like, this is kind of my team. And then from there on, it was just that's my team.
It must be so cool to have that guy as a mentor, like having Patrice Bergeron as a mentor for you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I couldn't say he'd probably like know me personally now because it was all like when I was younger, but yeah, he's definitely a great mentor to have. Like he's definitely someone I look up to.
So were you in the change room at all, just hanging around with Patrice, or was it kind of just off ice, like just outside of hockey?
Oh yeah, just off ice.
Before playing with the West Kelowna Warriors, you played with Mount St. Charles Academy. How did they help with your development?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it multiple times, even to people like my mom and dad, just Mount is probably what's made my so-called career so far. I just think making that decision to move away from home when I was 15 and going to Mount St. Charles has shaped me as a person and player, matured me to adapt without my parents and like my siblings and just kind of having that home aspect. And then as a player, it just you're with some of the best players in the country and it just pushes you to be better and better. And just making that decision was probably one of the best.
How difficult was moving away from home at first for you?
Yeah, it was definitely a very big challenge for me and a big jump. I mean, because I started the year in New Jersey and then I kind of transferred in October, so like not I would say midway through, but it was kind of a very quick switch for me. And then so that was probably very hard just because I went from being at home and then like a week later I was at Mount and it was like, oh, like I don't have my parents around me. I've never done this before. I'm 15 years old and but over time you kind of just learn to deal with it and mature over time.
What factored into your decision to go to the BCHL route and not stay within the US system?
Yeah, I kind of started with my uncle actually. So I was originally drafted by Waterloo in the USHL, and my uncle kind of texted my dad because they're brothers and was just like, "Oh, like what's Cal doing next year?" And my dad was just like, "Oh, like we figure he's just gonna go to Waterloo, like go to the main camp, see what happens." And he was just like, "Oh, it's like the USHL is a tough league for 16-year-olds to get used to. You never know what can happen if he has a couple bad games. Like it's hard to get back." He's like, "You should definitely look in the BCHL." My cousin played in Victoria in the BCHL, so I was definitely familiar with the league. So my advisor reached out to some teams, including West Kelowna, and after nationals in San Jose that year, we flew up to Kelowna and I like visited, met with the team, like the coaches, and it was kind of just like, this is the spot to be. There's nowhere else I want to be.
What was there a player or is there a player in specific that kind of welcomed you in on your tour or texted you afterwards to like kind of welcome you to the team?
I wouldn't say specifically, but there were definitely some guys like in the summer that were returning. Definitely like reached out. Like he's our captain next year, Landon Hilditch. Like he's an unbelievable guy, and he definitely reached out and he was kind of like, if you have any questions about West Kelowna, like let me know, and kind of just things like that.
And did your past experience, like living away from home, kind of help you ease your transition into moving to West Kelowna?
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely a big jump because Rhode Island to New Jersey isn't a big jump, but Massachusetts to like practically Vancouver is definitely a big jump. But having that kind of aspect of already being away from home 100% helped because I got out there and I was already used to it.
Josh Georges is one of the assistant coaches with the Warriors. How much did you learn from him, knowing that he is an NHL vet?
Oh yeah, I couldn't say like he's the best, honestly. Like I learned so much from him. He was around us all the time. He didn't travel with us, but he was kind of like our home coach and he was at all of our practices. And honestly, there's no better person that you can learn from as an NHL vet, especially someone like Josh is he was a leader on all the teams he was played for. And then he was kind of just like growing up, I never had someone that like you could just go to and ask questions about. He's like, I want to be that kind of person for our team as a whole. So he was kind of like, ask me questions. Like, I don't care what kind of questions they are, just ask me them. He said, I've been there, I've lived it. I've been in the NHL for what, like 15 years. So he was kind of just someone like anybody wanted a question. Like he was there to ask and he was always just stopping drills and pointing little things out, but they mattered so much and everyone learned a lot from him.
You had a fantastic year, second on the team with 23 goals. That also ranked second amongst rookies in the BCHL. How were you able to kind of quickly adjust your style of play to the play style in the BCHL?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was mostly just like the mindset. You have to know like it's definitely going to be a league you have to get adjusted to. I mean, going from U16 hockey to juniors is a big jump, but you kind of have to have that mindset that maybe not at first things are going to go in for you, but just over time you got to keep putting in that work, getting better every day. And I think that's just kind of what happened is just over time things just started to click for me.
You were featured on the power play. How much confidence did that add to your game, knowing that the coach put that type of trust in you?
Yeah, it's huge to kind of get that opportunity, especially as a rookie to be put on the power play. But I think kind of just being able to play with our so-called top other four guys on the team is it's pretty much like it's an honor to be put there and have that trust for your coaches.
In the playoffs, you guys went up against the Cranbrook Bucks in the first round. Looking back, how you guys held a 3-0 series lead against them. But in your opinion, what did Cranbrook do to make it difficult on you guys to finish them off? Because you eliminated them in game seven.
Yeah, kind of just our first three games, we kind of just took it to them. We weren't really thinking about, oh, this is the playoffs, this is a series of seven. And then I don't even think it was us. It was just Cranbrook kind of had that mentality that just switched and they were like, okay, like game four, this is win or go home. And I think they'd had that kind of tenacity from game 3 to 6. And then in game seven, it was for us kind of like this is win or go home. Like we lose, we're going home. Like we have the team that could possibly win it this year. And it was kind of just like there's no way we're going home. And I was actually hurt for those the end of the 4 games. So I was watching from the stands and um I was like, oh, I can see it in us that Cranbrook's not going to win this game.
You guys had that killer factor.
Yeah, 100%.
How, I guess, yeah, it would have been unfortunate because you're just watching from the stands. You can't really help out. It must have sucked to not be able to play in those last 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly the worst feeling in the world to be sitting in the stands, but I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. So you just have to have a positive mindset and especially like trust your teammates, trust the guys you play with.
Did your routine change at all for game seven, even though you were injured?
No, I wouldn't say so. It was kind of just like I said, have that mindset of when I go home, like you have to leave it all out on the table.
What will you remember from this past season with West Kelowna?
Kind of just how tight of a group we had. I mean, personally, I think it's probably one of the tightest groups I've ever been a part of. I think we were one of the most dialed teams in the league and also that I've ever been a part of. It was kind of just like everyone knew that, this is the year that we could actually bring a championship to West Kelowna. I mean, unfortunately, that didn't happen, but also like it brought a lot of guys back for next year because we got eliminated. And a lot of guys kind of just turned their heads and were like, no way, like I'm not leaving West Kelowna without a ring. So I think like just kind of that mindset is definitely just what separated us.
You're committed to Boston University. What factored into your decision to commit there?
Yeah, I mean, Boston University has been my dream school since day one, pretty much. But kind of just the tour that they gave me was kind of just how can I not be here? How can I not play college hockey here? I mean, their coaches are second to none. I love their coaching staff. Their facilities are amazing. And I mean, adding, like I said, it's my dream school and a great hockey organization.
The fastest game on ice just hit another gear. Welcome to the Stanley Cup Final, where legends are made and every shift could turn the tide. And now with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you can take every slap shot, breakaway, and overtime thriller to the next level. New betting on the Stanley Cup Final, you're in for an exciting time. Getting started is a breeze. Fire up the DraftKings Sportsbook app, pick your team to win, lock in your wager, and you're off to the races. It's fast, simple, and puts you right in the middle of the action. Here's the kicker. New customers who bet just $5 will score $300 in bonus bets if their wager hits. That's right, turn $5 into a Stanley Cup Final payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code THPN. That's promo code THPN to unlock $300 in bonus bets when your $5 bet wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice.
Well, how awesome is it that you're going to go to your dream school? I mean, not many people get to go to their dream school, but you will be.
Yeah, I mean, cliche, but it's a dream come true.
Did you follow BU at all this past year?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I followed all the college hockey, but obviously especially BU.
And it's just insane to see the season that Celebrini had, Hudson had, and obviously you add Jay Pandolfo as the head coach there. It's going to be the making. Like they should be winning a natty chip soon.
I mean, yeah, if you look at also like their recruits, I mean, all of them are top high-end players, and like with Jay Pandolfo, it's kind of like how do you not win a national championship in the next 4-ish years?
Have you ever dreamed of playing in the Beanpot?
Yeah, definitely. And that was also an adding factor. I always wanted to play in a Beanpot school. And 2 years ago was actually my first time going to a Beanpot game. And it was honestly like up there with the Toronto-Boston Game 6 game. Like one of the best atmospheres in all of sports. You have like everyone in the lower bowl and then all the student sections on each side kind of going at each other. And it's an awesome atmosphere.
Well, it must be cool because you're just a young kid going to a Beanpot game a few years ago, and now you're actually going to be on the ice in a Beanpot game. That has to be sick.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely like you're kind of watching the game and you're like, holy smokes, like I'm gonna be out here like in a couple of years. That doesn't even feel real.
You're a draft prospect for this summer's draft. How did this past season help you prepare for that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's obviously an added pressure, but you kind of you can't let it get to your head, and kind of having the influence of someone like Josh too. It just adds like you can't let the outside influence get to you. Just keep focusing on your game. So I think that's just what I did. And it was kind of like obviously there's going to be NHL scouts at the games and all this kind of outside influence. Who's going when and what are the rankings, but it's kind of just like focus on you, focus on the team. How can you make the team better?
Did you ever look at the rankings at all or no?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of it's right in front of your face, but you definitely look at it, but I try not to like really get in my head or kind of think about it too much.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a number, right? It's a stupid number.
Exactly. It's a number, and whether you get drafted or not, I mean, you have many years ahead of you, long pro careers. I mean, you look at someone like Jonathan Marchessault, like won the Conn Smythe 2 years ago, was never drafted. It's just drafting isn't like make or break in your hockey career.
What should fans know about your game?
I'd say like I'm a 200-foot player. I'm very reliable. I take pride in the defensive zone before the offensive side of the puck, but also very skilled offensively. Like I like to use my speed to my advantage and my shot and IQ.
And now I think I may know the answer to my next question here, but how come you chose to wear number 11?
Honestly, there is no story behind it.
Oh,
Yeah. I wore 9 growing up not my entire life, but I wore 9 the most. My dad wore 9 growing up and playing. But when I got to Mount St. Charles, I wasn't allowed to pick a number. And 11 is just what I stuck with. So I've just stuck with 11, honestly.
I mean, you got to go with the style, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What has been your most favorite arena to play in?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's a lot of good arenas. Obviously Penticton has probably the coolest arena, just the biggest seating arrangement, and it's kind of like a pro feel. Honestly, like Alberni Valleys was pretty awesome with the atmosphere because although like Penticton's is a pretty sweet rink, it's
Yeah.
very spread out, so all the fans are all over the place. Whereas like Alberni's was a pretty big rink, but like they packed their stands, and we only played there once, and like it was super loud, and we actually lost that game, but it was an unreal like atmosphere.
What about your least favorite? Like, is it what do you have a least favorite arena?
Yeah, definitely Merit.
Yeah.
Um, I mean they're not going to be in the league next year, so I should change my answer, but maybe Coquitlam. I didn't really like Coquitlam's. It's just a smaller ice sheet, so you don't have as much time and space out there as a regular like regulation size.
Well, I guess when you go to the smaller ice sheet, it kind of prepares you for the playoffs in a sense because everything is so tightly contested.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you kind of like you have the puck, you pick up your head, and there's someone on you right away. Whereas in a regulation size, you kind of have more time and space, so it definitely prepares you, and it's more physical, and you kind of get to the nitty gritty areas.
Is there someone who you found was the hardest player to defend with when you did play for West Kelowna, and why?
That's a hard question. There's a lot of great players in the BCHL. Honestly, I don't think there was one player in particular that was personally hard for me. There were definitely teams that were harder to defend than others, but not one player in particular, I'd say.
Well, my last question to you is, do you have any advice for younger hockey players?
I'd probably just say always believe in yourself. You know, there's always going to be that outside influence that's pushing you. There's always going to be those coaches and parents and people that's always going to be like, you can't make it, you're too small, you're not fast enough, kind of things like that. But you always just got to focus on yourself, believe in yourself, and that's going to get you pretty far.
Well, I'd like to thank again Cal Hughes for joining me on today's podcast. Thank you again, Cal.
Yeah, thank you for having me.